Hi, my name is Taylor Wittenbach, and I'm originally from Bloomington, Indiana. I'm currently living in Clovis, New Mexico, serving in the United States Air Force. I lived in Bloomington all my life, so I was very familiar with Indiana and Indiana University, and I wanted to earn my degree from there. And so I came across Indiana University East online, and so here I am working on my degree in mathematics, and I'm looking at switching over to chemistry in the next year whenever I get out of the Air Force and I can go to school on campus. There are 10 adjectives that can describe me. One is being anxious. I'm a little anxious right now in giving my first speech. Um, I'm also adaptable, personable, and adventurous. I believe I accumulated these traits due to my experience in the Air Force. I've had to be adaptable because sometimes things don't always go as planned in the military. You can show up to work expecting to do one thing and they'll have you doing something completely different. I'm personal because you'll meet many different people in different walks of life, and in the military there's so many different people, so you have to be able to be personable and understanding of different people's backgrounds. I'm also adventurous. I've been on 3 combat deployments. I actually just returned from Africa. I go out and I do new things, I try new things. People would say I'm very adventurous. um, Another other adjectives that could describe me would be persistent, sarcastic, and direct. I work in aviation, so there's the heritage is very sarcastic. Um, it can be pretty fun at times. Also, we have our own little lingo, so it's very direct communication because in the flying world, there's a checklist. There's certain words, certain brevity for different things. So you have that very direct communication. It's very black and white. There's no gray. Lastly, I'm very persistent. I'm one of the only people I know who takes as many classes as I do and still have a full-time job. I mean, not just a job, but serving in the military. So I'm very persistent on getting my degree done and getting it done hopefully before I get out next year. Um, I can also be very considerate and generous. I volunteer quite a bit, so I like to give back. I like to help others who are less fortunate, if I have the time and the means to. Um, I believe these adjectives. I believe these are more traits of my personality. So I think this will help give me confidence in delivering my speeches, but at the same time, I feel like if I get too anxious or nervous, I can digress off topic and forget my words. I might talk too fast. So I believe those are different ways in which might affect the process and speaking ability. My favorite television show right now is Grey's Anatomy. I've recently gotten an interest in chemistry, which could possibly lead into, going into medicine. And so I really relate with the show and what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. I know it's very extreme and not much like the real world, but I really like the idea of them practicing medicine and then also having like this little drama off to the side. So I really like that show. The personality behind it, I like that it's told from one person's perspective and that it's like her show and her little world and everybody else is just a player in it. So I like that. A little known fact about myself is I had once gotten the opportunity to time Michael Phelps. It was in Indianapolis a couple years ago, and it was part of the Grand Prix swimming series. Um, it's where all the top swimmers are, so it's Michael Phelps, Ryan Lochte. I mean, anyone you've seen on television that swims, they were there. So I got the opportunity to do that just by signing up to volunteer, getting out in the community. So it was a very great experience. Um, One of my biggest self-esteem issues is people looking at me. Um, Not in the manner of like, oh, I'm presenting a speech and people are looking at me, more along the lines of I walk into a place and everyone just looks at me. I think this is due in part to being deployed in, remote locations where they don't normally see blonde hair, blue eyes, so when I'm by myself, I get more like apprehensive about going into places, and just for the fact that people might be looking at me, I tend to tense up and I just want to hide. um, but when presenting, I feel more comfortable, like people are supposed to be looking at me. I feel more natural. But when I'm by myself, I don't like being looked at. So if I'm with a group of people, it's better. But I don't like people looking at me. So well, that's me, Taylor Wittenbach. So I'm looking forward to finishing this class.